Welcome to Business Purpose and Clarity with Petri. I'm your host. We talk about startup life, insights, practical tips, mistakes, failures, and everything between. Today, I'm going to talk about advisory board and board memberships and why you really want to have them and who you're actually getting. While we talk about this topic today, keep in mind that what you really want? Yeah. Why are you really getting those persons? Because it seems to me that many times people say something, but they actually mean something else. Well, it becomes clear in a minute, and probably you already figured out what I'm talking about. Why you need a board, the official thing where they make decisions and they are watching over the whole company. Obviously, there are legal reasons to have a board, but when you're an early stage company, you don't have much money, so you cannot compensate them properly. There's also liabilities if you're the board member, so you can legally be also responsible of things, and it's not a fun job in that sense. So usually, if you have investors, the investors are on the board because they're watching over the investment, if they're doing it as professionals, institutional investors, at least. So there's a reason why they are on the board. But if you want to get some other people on the board, why should they do it? Let's look at first from your perspective. Why would you like to have someone external on your company in some shape or form where you can put it in the website, whether it's in advisory board or in the board? You want something out of them. You want to have their network. They want to do some sales for you. They want to do something for the company in order for the company to grow. That's one perspective. Why would you like to have someone on those roles? The other thing why you would probably want to do is that, and I don't say it's a good thing, but that's what people do, is that you want to look good. You want to impress other people, meaning whatever the tasks you're going to do, maybe you want to raise a new funding round or close some key clients or employees, and you want to show that, hey, I know people. We have good stuff here happening. See who is on our board, who we have as advisory board members. So you don't really actually want that much from the people, or maybe you want something out of them, but it's more like you're showing off. You have other purposes behind it, so to speak, but you may not actually tell that to the person, so you will say to them something else, but that's why you want them. And this was the question in the beginning. What do you really want? Because let's go to that question now. If you actually really want to have expertise, you want to have access to some network, you want to have new clients or close funding or some of these things, have you considered that maybe you don't need to have that official board membership? Because it might be hard to get those people convinced to join the board if you cannot compensate them properly, or they think that it's too much trouble or whatever. But you still could have access to them. Maybe you could have them part of the team, but not by offering them a board membership which they will refuse. There are other ways to do that as well. So that's why I'm saying that really think about carefully what you want. In an early stage company, if you don't think about only from the perspective of running the company, usually small board is good board, because you need to do quick decisions, you need to be agile, you need to be flexible, you need to be able to make the decisions, you need to be able to call the board in a short time and discuss issues and get it over with. And if you have too many people there, people who are too busy, or it's just too bloated, too many members, having 5 to 10 people in there, and everybody has their busy schedules and just finding the time, and it's just like getting bureaucratic thing. It's not really properly serving you the earlier you are and more agile your business needs to be. That's not really helping the business in a sense if you're having that bloated board. What you really want? Advisory board, on the other hand, well, what does it actually mean? You have people on your website, in your slide deck, showing that, I know these people, I'm randomly calling them and they're giving me some advice when I need it. Yeah, it's up to you to organize it and make it to work if you really want to have that. Do you want to have these meetings, like periodic meetings, set up something and do You want to offer them as well something that they will get to know each other and they have good time. Depending on your business and the way you want to run it, yeah, maybe that's a good idea, but it also takes time. And then you have the advisory board, and then you have the real board and the business to run and take care of course, with employees and all the other stuff as well. So nothing is free, even though you're not compensating for your advisory board members. Maybe there's another way to do that. Yeah, well, you could also run the advisory board in a way that you are not having official meetings, but you're just having more like a bunch of people you're calling once in a while and doing one-on-ones with them, and everybody's happy and you don't need to stress too much about it, but you could still probably have them in a website. So that's one way to run an advisory board. Going from the other perspective, from the person's perspective, who you're asking to join or you're thinking of could be a good match for you, why would they come along? First of all, who can you get? Well, if you think about really like those professionals who are in high demand and are busy, are really like, the best of the best. Well, now is the time to look at the mirror and see that why should they join you? Are you good enough? Really? I mean, should they give you time, dedicate from the other stuff they could do, the opportunity cost, to help you and your business? And now is the crucial part. For what? For the honor of being shown to be as a board member on your website, or as a recognition of being an advisory board member, and mention that on their LinkedIn. If they're really excellent and in high demand, I don't think they probably will even mention that they are on your board or working and helping you out. Oftentimes, in most of the cases, that's the reality of it. But you may not actually get them. So let's talk about the other tier of people who you actually can get. Why you get them? They may actually want to have that CV line or the LinkedIn line or the mentioning. So they are actually collecting these credentials. But then you should ask, they're not after the money. You cannot compensate them properly, so that's out of the table. They want to join. And there's this old Marx joke that I don't want to join any club where I can become a member. This is a thing to keep in mind. The people you're getting, can they actually help you? Are they the best people to help you? Those who are available may not exactly be the ones you want to have. And that's the paradox of the situation. If you actually look at also from the perspective that you're having professional persons, let's say a consultant or someone who is in high demand and they are asking quite a bit of money per day to help companies out. And then you're offering them to become your board member. Maybe you even pay something, not much, something. But you say that, hey, you have to come to the board meetings, you have to fly in. It's actually physical meetings, not any Zooms or Teams. And you have to also have some extra days to do some strategic work or whatnot. If you actually do a quick calculation and check that, how much would these persons charge as a consultant to do the same stuff? The time dedication and what is required probably is not a good match. Meaning that they will not do it because it's like, okay, this is my regular job. Why should I actually give it for you for free? Or you're not actually compensating properly and you're asking so much out of me. That's usually the case. Even in small and medium-sized regular businesses, which are not startups, growth companies, but the profitable businesses, it's hard to get good people. Because of this thing, they're not paying enough. The companies are not paying enough for the really good people to come in, unless there's something they want to have. Like they are out of hobbies or they want to get a little bit more board experience and climb to the bigger companies or whatnot, where the publicly listed companies are the ones they really want to get, and you're just like a stepping stone for them. But this is something you need to figure out as well. What is the motivation of the person? Why you're getting them? So what is it? What do you really want? Do you really need an advisory board? Do you need a big board? Who are the persons you really need? Who are the persons you can get? And what are the goals you really want to fulfill? Is there another way to approach those goals. Just something to think about.